Hello, I'm Marcy Klein. I am the co-founder of 3DuxDesign, a social enterprise with a mission to create engaging and authentic learning experiences for kids globally. I was a pediatrician for 20 years before moving into education. And it was my own kids that inspired my transition. When Ayanna and Ethan were little, you couldn't throw out a cardboard box in our home. They were makers from the start. But about 3 years ago, Ayanna took an architecture class and was inspired. She loved the arts, but what she discovered in the class was that through architecture and urban design, we can bring the arts, community, and empathy into more traditional STEM education. She felt that architecture should be a part of early learning, so she and her brother came up with a solution. They created 6 uniquely shaped connectors designed to fit on all cardboard. They also designed a variety of white geometric cardboard shapes. And together, the 3Dux modeling system allows even very young children to make incredibly complex three-dimensional geometric structures. The clips are designed to work on all cardboard material, allowing children to create anything that they can imagine. And because most communities all over the world have plenty of cardboard, the product is low cost and easy to ship, making it a great solution for STEM learning globally. Now, along with the product itself, we have created a full line of project-based learning programs and lessons that range from the most basic open-ended design challenges to a full architecture and urban design curriculum. All of our lessons are deeply rooted in the design thinking process and support STEM skills along with the softer 21st century human skills like creativity, collaboration, and communication. For the more self-guided design challenges, kids can opt from a wide range of lessons like our Build a Bridge Challenge or our Mars Windstorm Challenge. They can even integrate technology products from their class, like this class in Renton, Washington, that designed a pollinator pathway with 3Dux materials and then programmed their bee-bot to navigate through the pathway to test their design. For more structured, standards-based learning, students and teachers love our Tiny House Challenge, where students can research the benefits and challenges of small space living and then design and build a small footprint sustainable home for a young family with a child and a pet. Our full architecture and urban design curriculum, called the Global Futures Design Lab, is a student-centered project-based learning program where students take a deeper dive into the design thinking process as they design and build model solutions to real-world challenges. This includes a core curriculum along with optional modules or extensions called side quests. In the core curriculum, students learn about community as they are challenged to design a community center based on the local needs and culture in the town that they live. Now, that center can be their own home, or it can be based on student interest or on concurrent studies in other classes. The side quests are optional extensions of the core program, which I'll talk about in a minute. In this example, students in St. Louis were tasked to reimagine a specific open space in their community. The group had an opportunity to present their ideas to the Urban Planning Committee. They started with a site visit to the location that they would be building. Then they went through the ideation phase, designing all the important things that they felt needed to be included in their community center. Then they went on to prototyping. Independent teams work on projects to create individual structures, and then they reconvene as a group and work out the specifics of the design, build a final model, and create a formal presentation. The core program can take anywhere from 8 to 15 hours, depending on the class. We also have an ever-growing list of side quests. It's a wonderful opportunity for children to explore a wide range of careers and see how those career choices can work within the context of other disciplines. For example, in the core curriculum, students see how engineers, urban planners, architects, and designers all need to work together. But in the side quests, they learn also about how community business owners, photographers, videographers, marketing agencies, artists, doctors, educators, conservationists, everyone all has a part to play in creating a vibrant and sustainable community. Here are some examples of side quests. In our landmark side quests, students do research on national and international landmarks and then use that knowledge, along with their understanding of the special assets and challenges within their own community, to design a landmark that truly represents their home. Students can choose to focus on culture, local industry, geography, or the natural resources in their region. In our Fun with Friction at the 3Dux Winter Park activity, it's a fun way to incorporate physics and engineering with slopes, forces, material science, and friction embedded in the challenge. In this activity, students create a slope and then they test different surface textures on the speed of a sled sliding down it. Here's an example. So they started with bubble wrap facing up, and the sled did not move very well. That was meant to depict fresh snow. Then they turned it facing down for packed snow, and it slid really quickly. Dirt was represented by cardboard, and it went somewhere in the middle. And grass, the students realized, is not really good for sledding on. Our Reimagining the Modern Zoo challenges focus on life sciences, animal health, and habitats as students design new animal enclosures for the local zoo. They also learn engineering basics by needing to include simple machines in every exhibit. In the Getting Down to Business side quest, students follow a guide and they work as a team to imagine and design their own business in their local community. And they have to come up with a business plan, a marketing plan, figure out their cost of goods and their profit margins, and then they go ahead and build their small business and have to market it and advertise it. So it's really fun project for the students and filled with financial literacy and entrepreneurship concepts as they go. Another side quest is the Museum of Kooky Characters. This is a linguistics project integrated with STEAM. So the students use Greek roots to create their own fictional characters, going back to their Greek roots, and they have to come up with 3 parts of the name that represent 3 different either behavioral or physical attributes of their character, and then they build their character and then they're off to build their own museum with descriptive cards and a full museum display. So the kids have a great time coming up with their fictional characters. They're learning linguistics and storytelling as they're building their structures. An adaptation to our Tiny House Challenge has a little twist. We call it the Tiny House Challenge with Cultural Connections. And in this version of the Tiny House Challenge, students dive into their cultural heritage, researching either an ancestor or a relative that lives in a different part of the world, or even a favorite character from one of their favorite books or movies, to study cultures and communities across the globe and from different times. So in this example, the students will build a home, but they have to pay attention to the local culture, the local customs, the religion, the building materials, geography, climate, everything that involves the community in which they're designing the home for. So it's a really great way to explore diversity and culture and how architecture in different parts of the world is dictated by both the natural and the cultural resources in that environment. For your 3rd grade plus students, if you wanted to include circuits in your side quest. The Bringing Light to an Arctic Night challenge is a really fun example of how you would use lighting and different types of circuits for different applications within a home. In our example, we go to the North Pole because I wrote this right before the holiday season, but you can swap out the North Pole living for any community around the world and tied into your civic studies or wherever the students want to research, or even in your local community. In this example, the students will build a home, but it is focused on, again, the natural environment and the culture and the community within the neighborhood that they're studying and building the home for. But then they have to come up with different types of lighting solutions for different challenges. So in this project, the students will go through the very basic simple circuit, but they will also learn about parallel circuits, series circuits, how to create an on-off switch for the circuit, and they'll even have a fun little twist involving making smart homes with lights that only go on when a person approaches the home. So that's really fun. In this project, not only do we have a lesson plan for the students and some diagrammatic examples of the different types of circuits, but we also have a tutorial for the educator who's going to be using this project with their students. As with many of our lessons, they're fully standard aligned, so you can look up how it aligns with the lessons that you guys are planning on doing in the classroom. Other side quests that you will find include our Picture Perfect projects, where students, once they're done building their structures, can learn a little bit about photography techniques and lighting and backgrounds. It's super easy, very low key. Kids can use really their iPhone and natural lighting in the environment to practice their photography skills. Art and architecture delves into the different types of art as students build a museum for their community. Another side quest that's really fun for certain students that are really into drafting would be drafting in 3D. In this project, students get to practice using the cube, one of the 3Dux cubes, and learning how to draft and how to shade their cubes to make them look like they're popping out of the sheet. It doesn't lead to a final project, but it's a nice little side quest that allows students that are really into drafting and drawing to hone their skills. What other lessons and side quests? We also have designing peace. That is, it's actually a side quest, but it can really work with the core curriculum where the students are designing a community center, but it adds a little story about some challenges in that community socially between different groups of people, and how designing a community center very thoughtfully can support celebrating the diversity and social equity within the community. So if you wanted to just kind of embellish your core global futures curriculum, you could add the designing piece to the project as well. And then lastly, lastly, for now, we're always coming up with more side quests, but we have the multi-generational makerspace project. And in this project, the students are designing a makerspace, but specifically the task that the town wants is that the makerspace can be used by people in an elderly home, as well as the local daycare. So very young children and some elderly people in the community both want to be able to use the makerspace. So the students need to be really creative and think about What are some of the skills and some of the challenges in different age groups within the community? And how can we design a center not just to support both of them, but maybe even to support a relationship between the two? So perhaps um, the people in the elderly home using the makerspace might know something like knitting and might be able to teach the younger children how to knit, whereas some of the younger children probably are quite savvy with technology and iPads, where the elderly may not be as facile. So maybe the younger children can teach the elderly how to navigate through using an iPad. So those are just two examples of what students could come up with when they're designing their makerspace, but there's probably about 100 other skills and needs of both age groups that your students can come up with when they're doing the design process. Communication is a critical skill that is important for all students to master, no matter what their career choice. So presentation is a key component of all 3Dux projects. With the Global Futures Design Lab, students also have an opportunity to have their presentations featured on our Global Students Showcase, giving students a voice and a place to share their work and ideas with a wider audience. This kindergarten class in a coastal community in Costa Rica share their model of their community along with their culture and local efforts to recycle and reduce waste. This class in Bridgeport, Connecticut earns a gold star on their student showcase with a multimedia presentation.
Looking at an aerial view of the site, Steel Point Harbor is a waterfront property with an adjacent uninhabited island. It is close to the Bridgeport Ferry, University of Bridgeport, a Bass Pro Shop, a Starbucks, and a Chipotle. It is also right near this awesome new education company called 3DuxDesign.
Before building our model, we created a site map with paper and Post-its to lay out the space and buildings. We divided it into focus teams, each responsible for a different aspect of the job.
Our teams included economic growth, education, recreation, cultural diversity and equity, and the environment.
This is our design. Starting with the island, we designed it as a zero-waste recreation area with a hotel, a farm-to-table restaurant, an ice cream shop, and a lighthouse museum. The entire island is designed to bring visitors and money into the community. It is 100% owned and run by the people of Bridgeport, supplying new jobs.
Our team opted for the Sustainable Features side quest and learned how to run the island entirely on wind and solar power.
To celebrate cultural diversity, we designed a live performance and recreation center where locals can share their music, their culture, and have fun entertaining visitors. We believe that understanding and celebrating what makes us unique will foster a better sense of community and equity for the next generation.
No stage is complete without multicolored LED lighting and super modern seating, of course. The next part of our development is the before and after school center, perfect for working parents. It has a makerspace, a gymnasium, and a greenhouse where kids learn gardening and grow the food that supplies the Seaview Hotel with farm fresh produce.
The adjacent community forest includes a pond with a water feature, a swing set made from upcycled materials, and a meadow with a treehouse, home to wild animals and the cows that supply the island ice cream shop with fresh ingredients.
Next is the Adult Education Center. Many people in this community did not complete high school or college, so this is a perfect place for them to learn new skills. It has a library, an outdoor cafe, and an entrepreneurship innovation lab. There is a small business counseling service. Adults can broaden their skill set to join the workforce, get counseling on starting a business, and use the innovation lab to design and prototype their new ideas.
The adjacent Startup Alley is a line of pop-up shops that entrepreneurs can rent by the month to market test their startup ideas with real customers at low risk.
This beautiful seaside oasis is designed to give locals a place to enjoy, to learn, to socialize, to work, and most of all, to take pride in their city.
With a flourishing visitor center and influx of money to the city, this can be just the beginning. Thank you for listening, and we hope you like our proposal. If accepted, we would be happy to break ground today.
Whether your students are live or remote, in kindergarten or in 8th grade, and if you're looking for just open-ended projects for your class or more standard-based lessons, 3Dux can help you inspire your students to become the next generation of change makers. 8-year-old Jasmine is just one example of thousands of kids globally inspired by the 3DuxDesign Global Futures Design Lab.
I want to be an engineer because engineers, they have they can do anything that they want that helps the community and that helps them do something better.
Find more information on our website at www.3duxdesigns.com or contact us info@3duxdesigns.com.